In this training video, we will be post-calibrating a YSI Sonde instrument that was deployed in the field. In order to do this, I retrieved the deployment form that went to the field and also the calibration sheet that was left in the book. So the first thing you're going to do is when you get this unit from the field is you're going to clean the outside of it, but not the sensors itself. Do not clean the insides of the sensors because we're going to be doing the post-cal procedure. This unit was scrubbed, at least it's somewhat clean on the outside, but it has the duct tape on it. The first thing we need to do is actually take this duct tape off so that we can hook it up to the computer and also clean the outside very well and to get it ready. I've got the outside of the unit clean now and the duct tape is off, and this connector looks pretty good. I did not clean the top head or inside the sensors so that we can post-cal. I'm going to remove the cap on the end, kind of give it a visual inspection to make sure there was really no water leakage or anything in it. Looks decently okay. Alright, I'll put a towel in there slightly and try not to touch any of those. Alright, now I'm going to hook it up to the computer. This only goes one way and it's in. Alright, so now let's go to the computer. We start the EcoWatch program. Inside EcoWatch, we're going to go to COM terminal, and then we are going to connect to COM 4. Now we should see the little hashtag that the sonde is operational. If it's not operational, that means that the batteries had ran out and we would have to put new batteries in order to get the data off that is logged. So we type menu. Okay. And what we're going to do now is we're going to stop the logging because it's actually logging as we're speaking, because it's been logging this whole time in the field. And what we want to do before we post-cal is stop logging and get the data off. So I'm going to go to run unattended sample and see it's been logging. So we're going to say B to stop logging. Stop logging, yes. Okay. And now we're going to go back, and the file will be on our sheet, and according to the deployment sheet, the file is W2 15 12 20 on this particular unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go File, and we want to upload this to the computer, and we're going to pick the file we want to upload. So W2 15 12 20, that looks like this bottom right here. So S, and then we're going to say proceed and pick PC 6000. Now what's doing is actually uploading this whole file to the computer, which will take a few minutes to do that. So the file finished uploading, so what we're going to do is I want to look at it. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and then I'm going to pick the file. It's going to be in this directory structure right here. This is on this little computer that is downstairs in the lab. So we're going to pick the W2 1520, this one, okay? And I say OK. This is going to open up bigger window. All right, and so let me scale back a little bit here so we can see the whole file. Okay, this is just on the computer. I can't take a screenshot of the computer, so that's a little bit of a problem. Alright, so this has got temperature, specific conductivity, and depth. We're missing the salinity from here, so what I need to do is go add salinity. This unit didn't have any other parameters I needed to add. If we had, say, a unit that needed DO, you would have to go to this as well if these are not on the file. So let me zoom into what I'm doing here. Alright, so we go to Setup, Parameters, Add, Remove, and that'll be able to pick through a list of parameters that are on the sonde that we want to include in the file. So you could include the battery, conductivity, these things, but not interested in that. All I really want added is salinity. So that way these are all going to be in the file, and when I say OK, this now adds it to this screen. So if I pull back, you see the whole screen right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save a screenshot of this on this computer, and the way that we can do that is on a keyboard of any PC computer, you push Shift and then this print screen. So if I hold Shift and print screen, that's it. It took a screenshot. Now nothing actually happened on the screen of the computer. Nothing actually changed, but what you can do is if you go to Start, Run, and MS Paint's already there because I did it before. I open Microsoft Paint, and then what you could do is you paste, so Control V. Now I just pasted the screenshot. Now I want to save that. File, Save As, and I'm going to save it the same name convention that we're using. So it's W2 15 12 20, and just save it as a bitmap, but I'm going to end up putting it in where the other data is located, so it's in C =N data, and I'm going to click Save. Alright, now we saved a screenshot of this data, so I can go ahead and close Microsoft Paint. Now I'm back in EcoWatch, and in EcoWatch I'm going to export this file. File, Export CDF. It's going to come up with a window to export to CDF in the same folder structure. All right, and then I'm just going to say export, and that's it. So now I can do is just close this file using the little X, and we've closed that. One last thing that we need to do is we need to move the file off of this computer onto our network share. So I'm going to go to my computer, and I'm going to navigate to the EcoWin folder, C EcoWin data, and if you just sort by date modified, you should see these things right at the top. These are the files that we're interested in. So I'm going to get another file window, and this time I'm going to go to our share on N, and I'm going to navigate to SSD Sonde, and inside that, raw. This is our copy of these files. So if I move this out of the way, now I'm just going to take these files that we just created, and then I'm going to copy it onto the other folder. And that's it. So now they're there. So we made a copy. So in the next video, when we go to actually trim our data and look at things, we can do that at our office. While we're in the EcoWatch program and the Sonde is still hooked up, what we're going to do is now postcal the machine. Okay, so you got to kind of warm it up because it was turned off. Go 0, exit menu, yes. Okay, and what we're going to do this time, instead of going to actually calibrate, because we don't want to change the sensors, what we want to do is just see what the values are on the unit when we do a sample. So right now I'm just going to go to discrete sample and just start sampling, and it's just going to see what's on there right now. Okay, so for right now there are some things I need to write down on the sheet, on our calibration sheet, and one of it is the battery voltage of the unit. So right now there's 5.8 volts left in the unit, and I write down today's date. I'm also going to write down now the depth, because we are not in any water, so it's in the air, so depth should be 0. It's actually pretty close to what it should be, right? So it's actually pretty good. So on the post calibration sheet, I'm going to have a spot for depth, and the value of the standard is 0. Initial reading is 0.016. I say it passes postcal, but because it's within 10% of 0. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some conductivity standards. So just like before, we were going to have a rinse and then the regular standard. I need to fill this up. Alright, there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse the sensor off. Again, this is where this is not cleaned. So what we're trying to do is figure out how far off was the sensor from the actual actual data. So I've written it decently. Okay, and now let me put it in the standard. Alright, I make sure it's covered. So I'm going to go back to the computer and I'm going to see what it reads on the computer. So according to the computer, it is reading at 48.66. So our valuer standard is 50. The initial reading is 48.66 or 67. Looks like it's going up a little bit. And that should be able to pass Postcal because it's within 10% of the standard of 50. I'm going to write down the temperature of the standard, 21.4, for my own records. Alright, so it looks like that this unit passes Postcal, which is very good. So now I need to clean up. I'm going to stop logging on the machine on the computer. And I'm going to unhook. Okay, and then I can put this cap back on. Alright, then I'm going to dump our rinse. This is especially important since we're postcaling and this is a little bit dirty. Pour the standard into the rinse. Screw this back on. Alright. Now I can further clean this instrument and get it ready to put back up on the shelf. I'm going to remove the battery cover, which might take a little bit of work. Actually, I needed this off to do it. Got it. Takes a little bit of force. Okay, we're going to take these batteries out and then put them in the recycle bucket, which is up here. And also while I'm in here, I'm going to give it a kind of visual once over. It looks like I've still got plenty of gel that was on here, so I don't see any water damage in the inside, which is good. So I don't need to do any other kind of repairs to the unit. Alright, and now I'm going to take it to the sink and I'm going to fully wash out the sensors and scrub in the inside. Now that the unit is fully clean, I'm going to dry it. Sure there's no water got in there. Alright. Let's set the filled cap back on. That I cleaned. I'm going to take the battery cover and just loosely hold it on here, put the cap back on it, and then I'm going to store this where the other sondes go. So to recap our documentation, this is the original sheet that we used to calibrate this unit with that I took out of the book. And so in the post-calibration check system, I have the battery voltage, today's date, time, who did this, the unit's name. I put down for specific conductance the temperature, the value of the standard, and what the reading was, which it passed. I also did depth, which the initial reading is 0, and it was very far off, and again it passed. Alright, so I need to fill out a couple more things. Some of these sheets are a little bit different, but at least we said it went to NIFWIF. Okay, and we did a continuous, let's see, 1 hour. Actually, this isn't NIFWIF, this is Rincon Bayou. Okay. C. Okay. Alright, and the date and time retrieved was on this sheet. So the date and time retrieved is this right here. So I'm going to write down 19th of January 2016 at 12:10. Okay. Now this sheet is done. It can now go back up in the book and be finished. I'm going to do is I'm going to take the deployment sheet and I'm going to be taking that upstairs to do the rest of the work on the data. But what I'm going to be doing is I say yes, it passed post calibration and today's date and sign. Alright, now I'm going to take this sheet with me and do the other computer work in order to get this data set in SAS and trimmed.